Yes, thank you for having me.
Barrow's a nationwide tour, which he is currently embarking on up country there. Now, we all know this is part of his constitutional mandate, according to Section 222, subsection 15 of the 1997 Constitution. The president is mandated to tour the country at least twice in the year, like they say, to familiarize himself with some of the things that are happening in the country. Now, even though this is part of his constitutional mandate, a lot of people are criticizing him and calling him out, especially politicians, saying that this is a farce and it is just he's just wasting national resources to further his political agenda. What is your response to that?
Well, the reason why, thank you so much once again. The reason why we have a set of laws put in place for a country to use and to, run by is because by nature of humanity, there will never be consensus on anything. This is why, in the first place, you have set of laws in any country. So there will always be people who will not agree with it. So that I understand. But this is sanctioned by the Constitution, which is supposed to be what every law abiding citizen should use as a guiding principle. And the president is mandated by the Constitution, the supreme law. And I have not seen anything that is wrong with him carrying out what his duties are.
Now let's talk about the wastage part, because most of these politicians are stressing that the president is in fact using states' resources and wasting them on something that was supposed to be so important, which is to meet the farmers. But instead, it has turned to like a gathering of cross-carpeting. This group has cross-carpeted from this political party to our NPP. What do you have to say about that?
So, so government is always, I mean, an institution that is controlled by a political party. You're forced in the opposition or a political party, you come into office. And when you go around, I am sure you have seen people that were discussing about either buying their ground, having their roads constructed, getting them water facilities, having health facilities brought to their doorsteps. I'm sure we've listened to women, we've listened to men, we've listened to farmers, we've listened to people that actually were not from the president's office on top. These are ordinary Gambians. They were telling the president what their problems are in their various communities. This is exactly what the Meet the People for is meant for. So when people say one is cross carpeting, politics and policy matters are intertwined. When a politician goes to people and tell them, these are the programs I have for you, please vote for me. It is consensus that people vote people into office based on promises. Now, when you promise people and you get into office and you have delivered some of those promises, telling them to keep you in that office so that you can do more for them is actually what politics is about. So President Adam Barrow went round. They will talk about wastage, but he told them about the development programs that his government is undertaking. And these were the things that he told them when he went around the tour to look for their votes. He also told them with his ministers the line of programs that he is bringing as well to the farmers, to in the health sector, in the areas of infrastructure, that is construction of roads and bringing electricity. This is what it is meant for. These are his policy programs, and these are the people that voted for him. And that is why, in the first place, our founding fathers put these requirements in the constitution, because it's not everything that is captured when you have a messenger between you and your people. Once or twice a year, you can go around and have a direct discussion with them. This is this. I don't know how else this is a problem in terms of you talked about wastage. Unfortunately, I've been very busy and I don't know how much money is spent on this. But again, the president budget is approved by National Assembly, an equally independent arm of government. So if I mean, there's something wrong with that. These are opposition. They have their members in parliament who actually form the majority. A simple, you know, bill, private bill, can be passed to stop people, president from going out to job. For me, it's as simple as that.
So this is supposed to be a meet the farmer store, as we call it. But a lot of people are saying that this has been reduced to like being on the campaign trail. Is that something that you will agree to?
I've mentioned that you cannot separate a president's meeting with people, talking to them about development activities, and his political interest. You cannot separate the two. The president is a politician. He came into power through politics, and he got that power to help develop the country, to implement the policy program. But in doing so, too, he wants to stay in power to be able to do that. And when you say this is reduced to politics, I mean, farmers are Gambians, and farmers are people that belong as well. They are either UDP, they are NDP, they are NCP, or they are independent. But farmers are Gambians that actually vote for people to be in office. So, when somebody stands before you and say, I want our road be constructed. We want water. I mean, how do you differentiate in a meeting that this individual is a farmer? No, this one is a politician. No, this one is an engineer. No, no, this one is a doctor. How do you differentiate that? When people say we need water in our community, it could be for their cattle, their herds of cattle, and that is farming. When people say we need roads, they want roads so that they can transport their produce from point A to where the market is. And that is far from farming. If people say we want electricity, probably they want to do poultry farming, bringing chicken and rearing them. So that could mean farming. So I mean, I don't know what else. I mean,
Now, I know 2021 is right around the corner, and of course, things are really, really intensifying. I want to talk about a statement that was talked about a few days ago by the party leader of the United Democratic Party. I know Ahmad Bah has come out to respond to the statement, and of course, a presidential advisor, Dusano, but I would also like to have your intake on this when he said that Barrow did not inherit anything from his father which he could use to help Gambians. What do you make of this statement?
tell me a single individual, a single person in the world that spends his father's, the property inherited from his or her father to develop that society for its people. Not in the United States. Donald Trump inherited millions of dollars. Justin Trudeau, our prime minister in Canada, inherited millions of dollars from their parents. Tell me a single president or prime minister or leader in the world that spends his pocket money to develop the country for his people. They use taxpayers' money. And, you know, I have heard this, and, this statement was told to younger generation. In fact, in that statement mentioned that those children, some of them do not even they have never voted yet. This is the first time they are going to vote. That is 2020. If I were in his position, a man as old and as educated and as experienced as him, I would have even advised them to desist from politics of insults and abuses. But that is exactly what he has inculcated in it. Because that's it. If you insult someone's parents in the presence of the children, what you are telling them in essence, it is fine to insult someone else's parents in as much as you disagree with them. So, but this is for me, this is not the first time. Hussein went to Bansa, those statements, their videos are there, and he told Bansa people. that you should be ashamed of yourselves. You if you do not vote for UDP, members of local government, that is the council, you will, shoot yourself on your foot because his reasons were, Adama Barrow Senu, a minister from Bansa, Amadou Sane from Bansa, an ambassador, vice chief from Bansa, Asan Diallo, Chief Justice from Bansa, Dr. Sidadio from Bansa. And for those reasons, he said Bansan people should not have any reason to have an opposition candidate. Not even vote for UDP, but they should not have an opposition candidate standing in Bansa. For those things that were done for him from inheritance, they were not. They were things Adam about from Bansan people's and other Gambia. But he went there and threatened them. Now, Alnyanta Mata London. The video, the audio is all over YouTube. The audio I played it. Fawusien la keta kodo la moti. Tate minister. Fawusien la kodo la moti. Ahmad Gitteh. Fawusien la kodo yola taye. Faisi said Asan Jallo ni sida bonto. But Ataka la will use because of those favors to Bansa, they should vote for him in UDP. Why would he come today to tell Adam of Abu and the Falcon? That is Hussein for you. A man that is angry and will stop at nothing to get to power. But that is not going to work. Adam Madam.
We do hear a lot of rhetorics. I'm saying that we do hear a lot of rhetorics coming from politicians, and this comes from different sides of the coin in most cases. What does these things mean for our politics in this country?
Well, what we all need to do, one thing I would tell you is when you look at President Adam Barrow, I'm sure you've watched a lot of his political programs and discussions. One thing he will not do is to insult an opponent. He's very careful of that. Mama Kande has been raining insults on Barrow. Hussein Dabo has been raining insults on Barrow. Dr. Sise himself has been raining a lot of insults on Barrow. But very no occasion will you see a president stand and respond that nasty and unstateman's man. So I think what we also do is to be civil and exercise civility and in our politics. But then we have leaders who are, speaking in manners, and also their supporters and their followers are following in the same path. And if you insult people, there's a point that they will fed up. The elasticity of elastic limit will have to be passed. If we reach that breaking point, people will bounce back. And that is what you see in most cases. And it ends up fitna or unrest. And I don't think he did that. But our leaders like Khalifa Saleh say very clearly, those that insult have no message. I think Hussein should continue to show that, not only to tell people don't insult, but he himself should stop insulting because he's showing a very terrible example as a leader. And God forbid having every president in that country. Astaghfirullah.
Let's talk about Mama Kande for a second. Like I said, there's been so many cross-carpeting, people from the GDC cross-carpeting to the NPP, and sometimes we hear other political parties saying people from the NPP have cross-carpeted to our party. But recently, Mama Kande has said that the reason NPP is after the GDC is because the NPP wants him to fight with the United Democratic Party. What is your response to that?
What he didn't say is how NPP wanted him to fight with UDP. Where did NPP say that? These are political statements, and everybody is at liberty to say whatever they want. Just like they will stand and say they have given millions to people to join NPP. Anybody who can say NPP is giving millions to people. Even me, Ahmad Gitteh, I was accused of having a diplomatic passport. The list came out. Those that were ever given diplomatic passport. My name was not there because I never had it. They accused me of having, millions from Barrow. As a matter of fact, until today, I have spent 5,000 Canadian dollars. Some of those t-shirts and Barrow, dresses you see, I personally contributed to, like with many other party members, to buy those stuff for the party and for people to buy them and get money for the party. But they are accused of receiving millions from President Barrow. So Mama Khan is saying that we want you to have a problem with Hussein Udabo. It's just a Mama Khan statement. I mean, there is no of in that. We are NPP. We would love Mama Khan to join us. Even Hussein Udabo, we would love him to join us and all the military. But if that is not possible, we continue being aggressive with our outreach policy, with our welcoming policy, and go after people and bring them. And I believe what we are doing, because as I said in the beginning, politics is about promise. When you get to power, you get those promises implemented. People look at your promise and look at this other person's promise and look at the other person's promise. Whichever they feel is what they pick, and that is nothing extraordinary.
And Ahmad, just before I let you go, particularly the GDC has always said that the NPP party was, established based on lies and deception. They're saying that every time that you say that people are cross-carpeting to the NPP, is because you are using a lot of money to give it to people to try to convince them to join your party. What do you think?
So, so yeah, like I said a little bit of it. I mean, you know, we don't have money to give. I have said it in one of my programs. President Adam Barrow as a person, Hussein Dabo is a witness to that because he testified himself. For Barrow was very helpful to UDP. Ala kodo dundige, adu mo kende ba mo kallake. Hussein Barrow. Barrow has a property management company. Most of his clients are Sarahule. When you ask Party Bunkers, they will tell you in a talk that if a Sarahule trusts you with his money, give your life to that individual. If a Sarahule trusted anybody with his or her money, rest assured that that person will take care of your life. Adam Barrow worked with these Sarahules. There was never a time that any issue ever emanated from him managing their resources. More than 15, 18 years. Some of these people have become millionaires, multi-millionaires. They love, we became president. They said, we are Gambians. We believe the best we know will be able to help this country when we help it. Sarahule Kilia Motor one Sarahule. One Sarahule give us $1 million. The other one give us 500,000. You go out and Sarahules in Congo, Sarahules in Kinshasa, in Gabon, in Sierra Leone. These are very, very wealthy living abroad. If they come and help us, why wouldn't they help us as Gambians? But for us, money to people, I think anybody that will give someone money to retain, I think Barrow would have given Ahmad Gitteh a lot of money because all of you are aware that I'm a very strong and a very, very useful supporter and member of NPP. I'm not going to boot from Barrow. We are members, so we don't give out money. Those are lies. But again, Mama Kande goes around to build boreholes for people. Mama Kande goes around to build really massive people. I mean, for what? For him to go to heaven? No. Give them money so that you give them boreholes and wells and milling machines for them to go and join GDC. But nobody ever asked Mama that what you are doing. You are giving material support to people for them to support you. Why are you giving them material? These are kind of stuff that Mama Kande has been doing, and nobody ever asked. But he will come around to tell us that we are giving money to people. And they have not produced a single Gambia that will come out to say, here is the money. This is what NPP gives. With all these talks, they said we bought votes from Nyamina and Keriaga. And as a statistician, when you approach 100 people, there is always this chance of someone refusing, someone very upright, someone very genuine. Let them bring one individual on TV who said, I have seen money being given to me for my votes. One person. And they can take them to court because Gambia is a country of democracy and rule of law. They have not done that. So these are all statements to just tarnish the image. And don't forget, you talk about a point we are all based on deception and lies. Now, these are things that they borrow from the youth people. So I just 2 minutes. Let me make this very clear. When Barrow came to power from UDP, you will always hear by law, by agreement, Barrow resigned from UDP. But for anyone, all of us would say Barrow is from UDP. Now, within UDP, democracy, we know there will always be divergence of opinions. Not even five people, you cannot have all of them agree on one thing. Some elements of UDP felt that Usainu Dabo will be the party's presidential candidate for 2021. Some said, no, we have Barrow already. Let's keep him there. Now, those that say we keep Barrow, they said we are bad elements. We are not loyal to the party. And we said that is democracy. If we want this guy, only the Congress, constitutionally mandated Congress, decide who will be a leader. We refuse everybody to say that. This was where the problem came. And as Gambians with rights, we went and formed our party. How is that a deception? How is that a betrayal? How is that an insult? How is that? We exercise our democratic rights when they refuse us exercising it within UDP. We want Barrow to continue for another 10 years, for another 5 years. They said, no, Usenus, then you are on Jugal. You've heard them say it. We have to deal on Jugal. We said, no, already Barrow has the advantage. And they started the nonsense and they are telling us we are betrayal. We will continue this betrayal 2021. UDP will be there. Thank you.
Supporters out there and to Gambians and why they should join the NPP?
First, for MPP, we are young. We always sometimes things get so hot because Nimoye Banning, Puru Ikanejo, but coming for always is for NPP people, let's do politics with respect. Let's do respect politics with civility and decorum. Let's agree and let us tolerate divergent views because that is politics. You will never have everybody in the same camp. At the same time, I would like every Gambian to know that NPP is formed to unite Gambians, to bring Gambians together, and to forge ahead. We need to unite and forgive each other and forge ahead. So all of you are welcome to NPP. As for why you should vote for us, of course, you see what our leader is doing. You know, hakalan ko na naman silo silo do kuka. Basen kol man silo silo na silo sambagi. Sandung kol. Banjulu la nita da banjulu sama ko susulal kala fle fana. Banjulu de hen. Wale ke banjulu amna concrete. So we these are some of the things you know I mean and many other we don't have time to talk about. But I assure you Gambians will be in a better position. President Barrow and in full control. This one is a coalition, and we still see it as a coalition. But come together as NPP, we take full control of our government and you will see the difference. Control parliament, the executive. You will see what intention we have on the dynamic leader, President Adama Barrow. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much, Ahmad, for coming through to the Fatu Network News Review. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for this interview. And now the community of Brufut Tranquil share their frustrations following an attempted eviction of families. The eviction, if successful, will affect over 15 compounds. Fatu Kamara has more in this story.
Uncertainty has returned to Tranquil. Scores of people living in this small town near Brufut have over the years been on a knife edge as a huge row over a vast piece of land continues to rage. The land is being claimed by a white man who is said to have acquired it many decades ago for agricultural purposes. But somehow people who lived here acquired plots of land and built their houses on them.
I buy my land here. It's almost about starting from 2005.